penultimate round of the 2021 Autosport International BTRDA Clubmen's Rallycross Championship in partnership with Cooper Tyres sees the field return to Blyton Park in Lincolnshire for the second time in 2021. Over 60 cars here across 6 different classes. Let's have a look at the circuit. We're on board with Dan Beattie in his Subaru Impreza. Blasts down the tarmac into the first left-hander. That leads into a second, rather tighter left-hander on this former airfield circuit. Then it's up a short straight onto the first of the loose sections. Rallycross, of course, a mixture of tarmac and dirt surfaces. Then down towards the hairpin. Gets very slippery here as the track cuts up later on in the event. You can see Dan drifting the Subaru there through that right-handed hairpin. Then it's up to a fairly long left-hander, and then it's into the jump as we go into the back straight, up and over the top. See some of the more powerful cars get a bit of air over there, hopefully. And it's through a chicane on the back straight, mind the tyre stacks and the cones through there. Little flick to the right, and then into a tricky double left-hander towards the end of the lap. Very easy to run wide onto the grass and through the cones there as well. Short blast up the straight, and then into a final right-hander towards the paddock, and that is a lap of the Blyton Park Rallycross circuit. We begin our roundup of today's coverage with the Avio Suspension UK Modified category, new class for the championship this year, and it's Max Weatherly out in front in his Suzuki Swift. Battle for second place between Johnny Crisp in his Citroën Saxo and Chris Wheeler in his Ford Fiesta. This is a new class for this year intended to bridge the gap between the production and super modified categories. The other runner at the back being Alan Laidler in another Suzuki Swift. Max Weatherly looking for his 4th A-final win in the category this season. Johnny Crisp, the only man to take an A-final other than him this year. Crisp used to race a Ford KA in the production category. Bonnet flapping a little bit on the Saxo. I hope that's not going to fly open. He won here at Blyton in round 2 earlier this season. The 2 rounds at Pembrey in Wales and the opening round at Liddon Hill in Kent, all won by Max Weatherly's Suzuki Swift. Looking for the category championship, he'll be the inaugural category champion. Chris Wheeler dropping away a little bit in the Fiesta there into third, just getting over the curb. The run out of the paddock section. Into turns 1 and 2 goes Max Weatherly. Crisp lifting a wheel in second place as they turn off the tarmac to this infield section up towards the loose and then down towards the hairpin. This is where it can get very tricky, but thankfully the rain that we normally see at Blyton has stayed away for a change today. There's been some threatening clouds around, but thankfully the weather has stayed fair. There's the Suzuki of Alan Laidler, ex-production category competitor at the back. Fairly well spaced out in this Avio Suspension Modified A-final. Now, as a new category, the drivers in this class not eligible for the overall championship. The other categories all combined together to give an overall champion at the end of the season. Still a few car lengths in it for second place between Crisp and Wheeler. This 6-lap A-final. Chris Wheeler, Max Weatherly and Johnny Crisp had a heat win each earlier on, so it's been a fairly evenly matched field throughout today's qualifying heats. Crisp there in second place, looking quick in the Saxo, not quick enough to catch Max Weatherly though, looking for his 4th A-final win this year. 1 round to go for the championships this year at Knockhill in Scotland towards the end of October. Dropped scores will come into play in the championship as well. Each driver has to drop their lowest score in the championship over the course of the season, but they can't drop the final round at Knockhill, just to make things a little bit more interesting. So mostly if you want to win your championship, you have to race in Scotland. Through the chicane on the back straight, Chris Wheeler closing back up again on Johnny Crisp for second place. I don't think they're going to catch Max Weatherly, he's well out in front. Wheeler now rather, right back on the tail of Crisp, having a look for second place. A puff of smoke there as they come off the penultimate corner over the line to start their 5th lap. Chris Wheeler looking pretty determined here at the wheel on the Fiesta. He has a look to the inside. Chris moves across to defend there down the straight. This is good racing for second place. Proof you don't need a large grid of cars for a good race in Rallycross. Johnny Crisp hanging on in that pink and blue Saxo. Pink livery added since his win at Blyton earlier this season. Chris Wheeler giving chase in the Fiesta. Out towards the hairpin. Lock up of the back wheels there for Johnny Crisp. He flings it into the tightest corner on the circuit, then up to a slightly less tight, slightly longer left-hander. It's up over the jump. There he goes over the top, pulling away from Chris Wheeler once again, as Max Weatherly is heading for victory. And I think Chris Wheeler's slowing down there. Yes, he's dropped back. I think Chris Wheeler's got a problem, unfortunately, with the Fiesta. Slowed there coming over the jump, so Crisp safe in second now, and I think Alan Laidler's going to come through for third. The leader, meanwhile, is into his last lap. Max Weatherly is heading for final win number 4 this year. Still that bonnet flapping away a bit on Johnny Crisp's car. I hope that's not going to come open and obscure his vision. Horizon Motor Group Suzuki. Max Weatherly heading for victory. Here's the other Suzuki, Alan Laidler. He's now up into third place. Chris Wheeler has stopped, unfortunately, in the Fiesta. He's out of the race. That's a great shame for Chris, who won the opening heat earlier today. Max Weatherly won heat 2, Johnny Crisp heat 3. Dominance from Max Weatherly in this final. Johnny Crisp has got no one to race with now, unfortunately, as the leader comes over the jump for the final time, down to the chicane. Be careful you don't hit those bales on the inside there. Into the last couple of corners then, this double left-hander. As we said, very easy to run wide onto the grass there, but no mistake from Max Weatherly. He's heading for victory up towards the final corner. There's the checkered flag. Max Weatherly takes the A final for the AVO suspension modified category. Johnny Crisp will come through for second place. A big winning margin for Max Weatherly in the end, and third it will be Alan Laidler. Well, Max Weatherly takes his 4th A final out of 5 this season, over 10 seconds clear of Johnny Crisp. Alan Laidler taking 3rd place, and Chris Wheeler sadly failing to finish. Problems with the Fiesta on the penultimate lap.
Unbelievable drive, well done. You pulled some gap on the rest of them out there. How was that?
That was awesome. The cars are mega. Thank you, Horizon Motor Group. Happy days. First time at Blyton, and it's a very good track. It's good fun. Tight and twisty. Car worked beautifully. All the guys have been working tirelessly to get it all sorted, and it's just ended up a perfect day, actually.
Yeah, it worked out really, really well. I know at the previous round at Pembrey, there was some good old battles with Johnny Crisp and some other drivers, and I know you came back with a massive smile on your face with those battles. It was the same throughout today, but that final, I was thinking we were going to have the same thing again, but you actually just pulled a huge gap on him, and he was too busy fighting with Chris Wheeler.
Yeah. I mean, the one at Pembrey with Johnny, it was real tough. But today, in Q3 in particular, me and Johnny had a real good battle. It was real good fun. I just luckily was able to get the pole, which made my job a little bit easier. Johnny ended up on the back row. So, fortunate for Chris, because he looks like he pulled out. But for me, it was just seamless. The car was flawless, and everything just went my way. I was really happy.
Absolutely, I can tell. And you're definitely gelling with the car. You and that car are absolutely one. I can't believe you've never driven Blyton before. Perfect for you, isn't it?
The car's awesome, that's why.
And the driver, we'll give you some credit too.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm really happy. And look forward to Knock Hill.
Us too. Look forward to seeing you there. Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah. Cheers. Thanks.
Now on to the young guns. This is the Questmead and 710 Oils Junior Rallycross category. Kasper Potira, the Polish driver, won 2 of the heats. He starts from pole, and his Saxo goes level with Owen Robbins in the blue Suzuki Swift into that first corner. Side by side for the lead. Also having a look is Max Watts. He won the other heats in his Suzuki Swift, but it's Potira who leads the way. 1 A final win for him. That was at Pembrey in South Wales so far this year. Owen Robbins has won 2. Caitlin May was our other round winner at Linden Hill earlier this season. She's in the silver car there on the outside, battling with Corey Paget for 4th place. The rest of the field headed by the VW Lupo, that's of Alfie Campbell, and James Hawkes in his Suzuki Swift, the latest member of the Hawkes family to hit the Rallycross tracks. Out in front it is Kasper Potira in his Citroen Saxo. Had a lot of bad luck early this season, was plagued by punctures which cost him wins in the first 2 rounds of the year. Finally came good at Pembrey in South Wales, took the win in round 4. It's been Owen Robbins who's won the other 2 finals this year, and he's Potira's nearest challenger at the moment. Max Watt in 3rd place. He had a rather wild ride here at Blyton in the second round of the championship this year in Lincolnshire. Earlier this year was spinning and bouncing off cars all over the place, but a more measured drive today. He had a heat win. There's the battle between Corey Paget and Caitlin May. Great win for Caitlin in the first round of the year at Linden Hill. Casper Potira was leading that, but then picked up a puncture. There is Max Watt challenging Owen Robbins for second place. Owen from the southwest of England, the ex-mini stocks racer on the short ovals. Caitlin May, a bit of a slow exit there from the hairpin. She's got Alfie Campbell's VW Lupo on her tail. It's looking good here for Casper Potira. The Questmead Limited and 710 Oils Junior Rallycross category. Of course, we've seen Luke Constantine, the junior champion, win the BTRDA title overall in previous years. Junior drivers are eligible for the overall championship. It is currently Owen Robbins who leads the points in the junior category, just ahead of Casper Potira. Potira could take the title lead here, and he will be in contention, although of course dropped scores have to come into play ahead of the final round at Knockhill. Robbins in second place. Third is Max Watts. The further quirk of the points is if you win the overall title, you don't take the championship in your category. So if, for example, Owen Robbins was to become the Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross overall champion, he wouldn't be junior champion, and the runner-up in the junior points would be the junior champion, if that makes sense. Making sure that there's even more winners in Rallycross. Intriguing rule by the BTRDA. There's Max Watt further back in third place. Then a gap back to Corey Paget in fourth. Made his debut in Rallycross in a Nissan Micra before switching to one of the more popular Suzukis. There is a senior series for Suzuki Swifts in Rallycross circles as well. Constantine family, who dominated junior racing for so long, have gone on into that, and Luke Constantine, the former Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's champion, has done a bit of circuit racing as well in Ginetta Juniors. It's Ginetta, the owners of Blyton Park, a lot of testing of their sports cars here. Really have improved facilities here at Blyton in recent years as well. Blyton Park Driving Centre, to give it its full title. All manner of on and off-road activities take place here. Track days, testing, karting, even autograss racing on occasions. And home to 2 rounds of the Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship every year, run in partnership with Cooper Tyres this year. Casper Potira continues to lead our junior final, ahead of Owen Robbins, then Watts, Paget, Caitlin May, Alfie Campbell, and at the back is James Hawkes, newcomer this year. Seen so many of the Hawkes family racing over the last few years in Rallycross. Martin Hawkes, a star in BMW Minis. Andrew Hawkes in the BMW Minis and the Clubman 4x4 class with the new Mini All 4 as well. There's Caitlin May, she's chasing down Corey Paget as they still battle for fourth place. There is Owen Robbins. Looks like it's a bit of a forlorn chase now of Casper Potira for the lead. Into the hairpin he goes. Slides it out a bit wide there. Began his career racing on the ovals of the southwest, the likes of United Downs Raceway at St Day in Cornwall. That raceway is currently under threat of closure, sadly. Any support for their campaign to save St Day is much appreciated. Have a look online for how to do so. Also Smeathorpe Stadium in Taunton. It's Casper Potira heading round to start his final lap then in the Saxo. Barring any disaster, he's got this race under control, but he won't get complacent here. He's had a lot of bad luck already this year, the Polish driver. Through into his final lap. There's Max Watts. Drive here for third place. Had a slightly inconsistent season so far. Battle continues for fourth. Corey Paget holding off Caitlin May, who's now back on level terms with him. Behind them it's Alfie Campbell in the VW Lupo. May moves to the inside. A bit like the battle between Johnny Crisp and Chris Wheeler that we saw in the modified category here. Caitlin May, is she going through? Yes, goes into turn 1, gets the inside, but back on the inside into the second bend there. Through comes Corey Paget again. And while they battle, they're losing time to Alfie Campbell. He's closing up on them as well. We're on the last lap now of this Questmead Limited and 710 Oils Junior Category A final. With Casper Potira's stopped. The Saxo has stopped there, coming out of the hairpin. Oh, more bad luck for the Polish driver. There he is. He's come to a halt, and it's going to be Owen Robbins. He can't believe his luck right now. It's going to be a final win of the season from 5 rounds for Owen Robbins. This will put him clear into the lead of the Junior Championship. There's the checkered flag. Robbins wins it. That'll put him right into contention for the overall title as well. Second place is going to go to Max Watt, and this battle is now for third. As Max Watt comes over the line, is it going to be Corey Padgett who hangs on for third place? Yes, he's just going to hold on by a Suzuki Swift length ahead of Caitlin May, then Alfie Campbell, and further back James Hawkes. What a disappointment for Casper Pottiera. The win goes to Owen Robbins by nearly 6.5 seconds over Max Watt, then Padgett just holding off May by half a second, then Campbell and Hawkes, and poor Pottiera retiring from the lead on the final lap.
Oh, and that was a hard-fought win, wasn't it? I mean, Casper was definitely in a brilliant lead. What happened towards the end of the race?
I don't know. I think he just got really unlucky. It really was his race to win there, and he should have had it, I think.
Yeah, it's one of those. That's lovely sportsmanship to hear as well, Owen. You are leading the juniors, though, at the moment, so this is good for you, although it's not nice to see a competitor drop out with mechanical problems, which we think Casper's probably had there. However, you were driving very hard, so I think, you know, it would have always been a second place to you anyway. You won here at Blyton in the previous round that we had here this year, didn't you? So you obviously get on well with this circuit.
Yeah, I don't know, it's just a nice circuit for me. I really like some of the sections here, and it really flows really nicely.
Yeah, you do really, really well on it. You look really confident out there. Is there any particular part of it that you find quite tricky?
Yeah, turn 1 today was really horrible. There wasn't much grip there too, so it was a challenge to get through it.
Well, you certainly did it well. Take it like the sportsman that you are, and you've got the points for this win, and hopefully we'll see you back out for another battle in the next round.
Thank you.
Next up it is the production 4x4 category, sponsored by Cooper Tyres. 5 Subaru Imprezas out there for this A final. The man to beat, former champion Dan Beattie, scored a hat-trick in the heats, and it's he who goes into the lead on the first corner ahead of another former champion, Paul Davis, in number 11. Chris Baker up there in third place with his Impreza. They go down towards the hairpin. Paul Davis will try and have a look. Just clips the back of Dan Beattie as they go through the hairpin there. Joe Booth in the turquoise car, a newcomer, in fourth place. And then we've got Ian Flitney in the Flitspeed prepared car, rounding out the 5 Subarus. One of the best entries we've had this season in the Cooper Tyres production 4x4 category. Well, Dan Beattie had a couple of wins at Pembrey. Looking good for another championship here. Main rival in the early part of the season was the Mitsubishi of Bradley Sampson, but he's not here this weekend. Paul Davis giving chase at the wheel of his Subaru Impreza. And we haven't got the Mitsubishi here to break the dominance of the Imprezas. There's Ian Flitney at the back in the Subaru World Rally Team liveried car, the dark blue and yellow. It's by Colin McRae and Richard Burns, among others. That's a famous colour scheme. Paul Davis, his new car for this season, up there in second place. Good to have Dan Beattie back in the series as well. Great entertainer is Dan. Up towards the jump they go for the second time, and Dan Beattie pulling away slightly. It is road legal, that Subaru Impreza, as well, as we found out at Pembrey, because after problems with his transporter on the way to the event, Dan had to drive the Subaru to the track on the road. It's been a very comfortable or very quiet journey. Out in front here, setting a good pace ahead of Paul Davis. There's a bit of damage to the left front corner possibly of Paul Davis' car. He's picked up a bit of debris there, dragging along the left front corner, we can just about see. There is Joe Booth in his Subaru, the turquoise livery machine, being chased down by Ian Flitney now. The battle for fourth place, the 2 Honda-shaped Subarus. Flitney wide onto the dirt there, coming out of the paddock corner. Dan Beattie, look at that sideways as he comes into the hairpin, trying to do the Scandinavian flick there around the hairpin. Increasing his lead slightly now in the modified Scooby's Subaru. Scooby-Doo, as he calls that car. Over the jump, Paul Davis giving chase. Chris Baker further back in third, just clipping the bales there as he comes through the chicane in the grey car. It's wonderful to see the weather finally turning fair here at Blyton. It normally rains at Autosport International BTRDA events at Blyton. There you can see that little bit of damage just to the, I think it's the wheel arch liner that's possibly dragging under the car for Paul Davis. It's not slowing him down though. Here comes Scooby-Doo into its fourth lap now. BT swings it through turns 1 and 2. Onto the loose over the old runways here at Blyton. Track has held up very well indeed, given the lack of wet weather. The hairpin. Paul Davis under fire from Chris Baker. Had a great season, his best season so far in BTRDA Rallycross. Chris Baker. Still Dan Beattie, slowly but surely increasing his lead. He's already looking good for the Cooper Tyres Production 4x4 Championship this year. Of course, dropped scores will have to be taken into account ahead of the final round at Knockhill. Each driver has to drop their worst score from the first 5 rounds. Some drivers may have an advantage because 1 or 2 drivers in some of the categories who are fighting for championships have a 0 score that they can drop. I think any of these have. Chris Baker's scored in every round, so has Dan Beattie, so has Paul Davis, so it's going to be interesting to see how they work out. It's the first appearance of the season for Joe Booth and for Ian Flitney. He's going well in 4th place there. Quite a way back on the rest of the field though, the 3 more experienced championship runners. Nice little sideways move there by Chris Baker as he continues to chase Paul Davis. This is the main focus at the moment. For 2nd place, getting a little bit dusty out there. Keeping Dan Beattie in their sights. It ain't over until the checkered flag drops, as we saw in the junior category when Casper Potira pulled up on the last lap. The gap has come down a little here between the 2 leaders. Paul Davis and Dan Beattie have had a friendly rivalry on track for quite a few years now. Last year it was the Mitsubishi Bradley Sampson who came out on top. Bradley not here this weekend. He lost points in the previous round at Pembrey. Maybe his championship challenge over for this year, sadly. It's looking good for Dan Beattie. He's on his last lap now. Up towards the hairpin for the final time. You can see just that little bit of debris dragging behind the front wheel on Paul Davis's car. It's not tangled up in anything, it's not slowing him down. Over the top goes Dan Beattie for the last time. Through the chicane. It's going to be a perfect 4 out of 4 for Scooby-Doo and its driver Dan Beattie. Through the last couple of corners, Chris Baker trying his hardest. I think he's going to have to settle for 3rd though behind Paul Davis, as into the final corner comes Dan Beattie for 4 wins out of 4. A perfect score for Dan Beattie in his latest A final victory. Over the line they come. Davis does get home for 2nd place, just over 3 seconds behind Dan Beattie. Chris Baker 3rd, and then further back Joe Booth holding off Ian Flitney to take 4th place in our Cooper Tyres Production 4x4 A final.
Dan, nice to see you with another win. You were leading the championship in your class up to this round. I think you've probably just secured that a bit further.
It looks that way. I hope it's secure now and I haven't got to worry about it anymore, but I'm happy now, yeah.
Brilliant. And it's clear to see you're having loads of fun out there as well, right?
Yeah, today I definitely was. It was a bit of a weird one because there was only a couple of cars out at the start of it, but I could just go out there and have some fun. I was having so much fun. I was like a little kid in there.
It's been a funny old one today. Yeah, there was quite a quiet grid earlier on, and I'm really glad that we've had quite a full final. It must be good to have more cars out there to keep your eye on, more happening.
Yeah, definitely. With Paul said he had some power issues. Chris blew his gearbox in practice. The other 2 weren't running, so it was a nightmare, but Chris got a gearbox, luckily. Paul was running right, so it was a good race for the final. I'm so happy.
Really, really good. How did you get on with Blyton? It looks like you're a natural around here, really, and the car suits it.
Honestly, it's not my favourite track. It's just for some reason I'm quite good at it. So I'm not going to complain about that.
That's fair enough. That's absolutely fair enough. So hopefully, without adding up the points in my head, you've got nothing to worry about for the last round. Fingers crossed, eh?
I'm hoping, but I'll kind of put myself in my own head because of the overall championship I'm quite close to as well. So, yeah, we're going to be going.
I wasn't going to mention that and put the pressure on. We'll just deal with the class and then we'll deal with the championship. But yeah, you've done amazing this season and you're having fun. So brilliant. Well done.
Excellent. Thank you.
Already seen some great action in the first part of our programme, and now we move on to our next A final. This is the Pre-95 Classic Division, sponsored by Steve Gaunt, Commercial Vehicle and Trailer Sales. A super start by John Cross in the Lancia Stratos replica, had a heat win earlier on. The other two heats are won by Vince Bristow in the BMW. He's up into second place. Richard Moroney in third in the Escort Cosworth. So welcome back to Ryan Stutchbury. First time we've seen him out this year. He's in fifth place in the Peugeot 205 GTI there, behind David Attiwell in the Vauxhall Nova. Ryan Stutchbury's dad Scott raced earlier on as well in his 205. Didn't make it to the A final, sadly. Had a bit of a collision with David Ewan in the Fiesta Evo during the heats and the B final earlier on. It's John Cross who leads. We're being harried here by Vince Bristow, Mr. Sideways in his BMW E36 318i. John Cross goes wide onto the grass. This is Bristow's opportunity. He's going through. Through goes the BMW into the lead. An opportunist move there. Richard Moroney still third. They're really flinging these cars around in great style. Mr. Sideways, Vince Bristow, sideways as always, chased by John Cross in that awesome Lancia Stratos replica. Super sounding machine that is as well. Of course, one of the iconic rally cars of the 70s, the Lancia Stratos. And he's attacking back again. A very fast-paced race indeed, this one. Richard Moroney in the Cosworth still third. He's got Ryan Stutchbury on his tail. He's gone past David Attiwell's Nova. The rest of the field, Jamie McBain in his Peugeot 205 GTI. Also out there, Mark Finch in his Ford Fiesta, as Bristow sideways again through the hairpin. Also in there we've got Tom Edmonds in the Vauxhall Corsa. There he is, the yellow and white car. Mark Finch's Fiesta now behind him. Edmonds and Finch qualified through the B final. Top comes the third place train headed by Richard Moroney in the Escort Cosworth. Great to have Ryan and Scott Stutchbury back out here today. We've not seen them race for some time. They've been running cars for other drivers, including David Martin, who's raced one of the Stutchbury family's Peugeot 205s. A hangover rallycross team as they're known, but certainly no hangover for Ryan Stutchbury for his long layoff here. He's chasing hard after Richard Moroney. Place is David Attiwell. There's Tom Edmonds in the Corsa towards the back. It's still Vince Bristow from John Cross up front. Vince Bristow looking good for the Pre-95 Classic Championship, subject to how the drop scores work out and how things go at Knock Hill. No Mark Jones this weekend, the reigning champion, the Welshman in his MR2, suffered some damage at Pembrey, unfortunately, in his home round. Here comes Ryan Stutchbury on the back of Richard Moroney, almost under the whale tail spoiler of the Cosworth. Problem there for Jamie McBain in the second of the 205s, almost came to a stop there at the hairpin. Bristow's now pulled away from John Cross up front as they head into the final section of the lap on the tarmac. Main focus is the battle for third place. Ryan Stutchbury is all over Richard Moroney. No doubt Ryan Stutchbury's young son Freddie is cheering him on from the sidelines. Freddie, a bit of a mascot for the championship over the last couple of years. Final corner. Bristow, you can see, has pulled away from Cross. Stutchbury now under fire from David Attiwell. James McBain under fire from Tom Edmonds, going well in his Vauxhall Corsa. Mark Finch rounding out the field in the Fiesta further back. Great to see such a variety of cars racing here today. This is a good run by Richard Moroney. It's Cosworth. Towards the sharp end in the heats, he's leading subclass 2 in the classic category. Subclass 3 led by Vince Bristow. His only other rival in that category, John Cross, the super classic cars. There is Bristow, Mr. Sideways, does a bit of stage rallying as well. The other class here today, the classic minis, they were won by Helen Crooks. She went out in the B final, the reigning classic mini champion. 4 cars line astern. Bit of debris hanging off the back of Ryan Stutchbury's Peugeot there. May have been clipped by David Atterwell in the Nova. Nova flicks it through the final corner there. Good style from David Atterwell. He's chased by James McBain, gets a bit wide there in the 205. Car repaired after a bit of a wallop in the previous round at Pembrey, right at the start of the Classic A final. Stutchbury going for the outside there. I don't think that's going to work unless he can cut in at the hairpin. He's not going to. The Cosworth a bit quicker in a straight line for Richard Maroney. First two have got away, the two Class 3 cars. James McBain trying to get involved in this battle as well. No problem for Vince Bristow. He's pulled well away from John Cross now. He'll have one more lap at Blyton Park to negotiate. It'll be another A final win in the book. He's second this year. He's been runner-up in all the other three. He won at Lytton at the start of the season. Vince Bristow. More consistency than speed up to now has put him top of the championship. He's all set to win here tonight. Who's going to top the battle for third place? One more lap to go. Richard Maroney hanging on in front of Ryan Stutchbury. Sideways there again, McBain over the curb, nearly spun it there. Certainly not too many incidents here at Blyton today, which is good to see. It was a real meeting of attrition when they visited Lincolnshire earlier this year. Some classes didn't have many cars left to contest their finals. Thankfully that did not repeat itself today. Vince Bristow is away and gone for victory ahead of John Cross. Who's going to top this battle for third place? Richard Maroney hanging on for dear life in third place. Here comes Bristow through the final couple of corners. It's going to be a second A final win of the season for Mr. Sideways in his BMW. I think Maroney's done enough for third place. David Atterwell behind them and Sideways over the line. Typical style. Vince Bristow takes the win. Well clear of John Cross in the beautiful Stratos replica in second. And here comes the third place fight. I think Richard Maroney has just about done enough. They come through the final corner. Maroney will complete the podium ahead of Stutchbury, Atterwell and James McBain as quickly as that. Tom Edmonds behind them. I think we may have lost Mark Finch on the last lap there. I think the Fiesta has pulled up somewhere. But a great race there from the Steve Gaunt trailer hire and commercial vehicle sales pre-95 Classic division. Vince Bristow the winner by over 11 seconds ahead of John Cross. Richard Maroney topping that terrific battle for third ahead of Stutchbury, Atterwell, McBain and Tom Edmonds.
Vince, sideways over the checkered flag. As always, we expect nothing less now. Were you having fun out there?
I was, yeah, just mucking about towards the end. Had quite a lead average on, so just time to play.
Absolutely. You've been going really well all day, to be fair, and the rain's held off, which is great, but do you prefer racing in the wet or the dry?
I don't mind either, actually, but the biggest problem with the rain is visibility on the inside of the screen. The same for everybody, it just makes it hard. But
you'll be looking out the side windows anyway, aren't you?
Most of the time, but there's no wipers on there, so...
So Lee Wood, I think, is just ahead of you at the points at the moment in your class. This potentially is going to put you right up there with him.
Yeah, that was a plan. So unfortunately, he had a failure today, so he's gone home. I was looking forward to racing with him, but that wasn't to be. So.
Unfortunately so, but that's the way it goes, doesn't it, with Rallycross? So next round, really, for you guys, it's all to play for, isn't it? Last one.
Yeah, and it's the only one we can't drop, and it's the furthest away as well.
Yeah.
I was there last weekend.
Well, you're going to have to just go back. You've had secret practice, you see, last weekend.
Is that what you call that, is it?
We'll take it as good seat time, eh?
Okay, yeah.
Brilliant. Looking forward to Knock Hill. Did you get on well up there?
Yeah, I didn't do too badly last time, so we'll see. Just hope it doesn't rain there, because that will be quite horrible. The mud's pretty thick there.
Yeah. Certainly is, you're right there. Well, good luck. Can't wait to see you both back out for the top spot at Knock Hill.
Okay, thank you very much.
Now on to the AS Performance Super Modified category. Join it midway through, and it's Fred Ling heading the battle, albeit for second place, because once again, as we've seen in every round this year, Jason Bleasdale and his incredibly quick Vauxhall VX220 was off the line like a rocket at the start and is away into the distance, looking to keep up his unbeaten run of A final victories this year. Ling in second in his Fiesta ST. There's Phil Chicken, very experienced rallycrosser in his Citroen C2 in third place. Those category, all leading their subclasses based on engine size as well. Bleasdale Class 3, Link Class 2 and Chicken in Class 1 for the smaller cars. Also the BMW Mini category further back, that's headed by Darren Bleasdale ahead of Nick Abbott. One non-starter in this race. There are the BMW Minis coming through. One non-starter in this race, Gary Cook in his Ford Fiesta, and Nick Hartley in his Fiesta was also an early casualty. Bleasdale away and gone in front. Redling in second place. It's had a lot of mechanical gremlins this year with the Fiesta ST. Looking good here for a top three. He did beat Jason Bleasdale in Heat 2 by a couple of seconds. Bleasdale winning Heats 1 and 3. Of course, the best two out of your three heats determine your grid position for the finals. Nick Abbott, who we saw at the back in his BMW Mini, won the B final ahead of the Fiesta of Nick Hartley, who was an early casualty, sadly, in this A final. It goes through in that second place. Good to see the Fiesta running properly. Still second in the super modified points behind Jason Bleasdale, and if Bleasdale wins the overall title, of course he can't be super modified champion as well, so Fred Ling is still in with a chance of the category championship if Jason Bleasdale becomes overall AS Performance super modified champion. Real chicane on the back straights up towards the last couple of corners of the lap. Total dominance once again from the Vauxhall. He's coming up to lap one of the BMW Minis. I think that's Andrew Hawkes, the black and green car. Through the paddock section, come up on the BMW Mini down the straight. Now Andy Hawkes has actually pulled into the paddock, we see there in the background. He's out of it. So Jason Bleasdale on his last lap now. Nobody's going to catch the Vauxhall. Phil Chicken, looks like he's going to settle for an overall podium here in AS Performance Super Modified and the subclass victory for up to 1600cc cars. Bleasdale in the class for the big engine machines. Comes through towards the jump for the last time. Nobody anywhere near him. He's well clear, well over 10 seconds clear of Fred Ling. Confirm the results in just a moment, of course, but it's going to be 5 A final wins out of 5 for Jason Bleasdale. There is the checkered flag, and Bleasdale takes the victory. The win goes to Jason Bleasdale by nearly 12 seconds, in fact, ahead of Fred Ling. Phil Chicken further back in third place. And then Darren Bleasdale winning the battle of the BMW Minis for fourth place. Andy Hawkes, we saw a late retirement, and the Fiestas of Nick Hartley and Gary Cook also not finishing.
Jason, epic drive as always. We expect nothing less from you in that amazing car. I did see you spin earlier on though. Was that just to switch things up or?
Yeah, I was hoping no one's seen that. But yeah.
No, I did see it, but it didn't even matter, you were that far ahead. No, brilliant driving as always. Leading the championship with us, which is fantastic. And I think you're also doing pretty well in the British.
Yeah, I've got quite a good points lead now in the British Championships and a good points lead now in the BTRDA Championships. So it's going well, really. Hopefully, well, one more to go for the BTRDA, and fingers crossed that goes well.
Yeah, I don't think you need to work too hard at Knockhill for our last round. It looks like you've potentially got it in a bag. Just keep it and bring it home safe at Knockhill.
That's it, yeah, just take it easy, get some more points if needed, but I think if I can even drop that round, I think I've still got a good championship lead, so that should be good.
Yeah, definitely. Also, I mean, this track, it's a funny one because it's quite technical, but there's some nice long straights as well, which seem to suit your car really well. Do you feel that's the case when you're out there?
Yeah, definitely. The home straight's a good power straight. You can get it up to fourth gear and quite get a bit of speed up, and then even after the jump on the back straight through the chicane, it's still quite quick round there. Yeah. I mean, it is a tight and technical track, and you do have to get on the handbrake sometimes and to send the car in sideways, so it's a good all-round track. Yeah.
It looks like, because you've got quite a lot of power and speed within that car, you're pulling laps on people, it's brilliant. Do you find that you've got lots and lots of grip as well, or are you having to fight with the car a lot?
There is lots of grip. The first lap,
2 laps, I'm struggling with tyre temps, and I can feel it. I'm probably backing people up, but then as soon as them tyres turn on, the grip's there, and it does then go away. We tend to get a good lead after that.
Brilliant. Well, we can't wait to see you back out at Knockhill, and hopefully you'll bring that trophy home.
Cheers, yeah, I'm looking forward to Knockhill. I was there a couple of weeks ago, and it's a really good fast track, so fingers crossed it all goes well next week.
So you've had a bit of seat time as well?
Yeah, a bit of practice there, maybe get a bit ahead of everyone.
Yeah, well, why not? It's there, isn't it? Brilliant. Well, we can't wait to see you out there. See you then.
Cheers, thank you.
Now it's time for the SG Haulage production category. Dale Ford, the reigning overall champion, is the one to watch. Scored a hat-trick in the heats, but he's being squeezed there on the run to the first turn by Rory Denning in the Peugeot 106. Ford takes the lead on the inside. Third place, Harry Volkard in his Citroën Saxo. James Avison with a good getaway in the Ford Focus as well. Looking to win the subclass for 2-litre engine cars. Everybody else in 1600cc 16-valve production-based machines. Dale Ford leads the way then, the defending overall BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross champion. There's the 2 Honda Civics at the back. David Wappert in the Loughborough College car. He won the B final. Rallycross veteran Mike Dresser in his version was second. They came through to the back of the grid. Out in front it is Dale Ford. His home circuit here at Blyton, looking to retain his overall title this year, but his chances not looking great. He's had a couple of low scores so far this year. We'll wait to see what happens when dropped scores come into play. Rory Denning in second. He's got a 0 score to drop from round 2 here at Blyton. It's Harry Volkard in third. Then the battle for fourth, we've got Charlie Maroney and James Orton. They've got past the slightly bigger cars of James Avison, Mike Dresser and David Wappert, and Rory Denning in the 106 all over race leader Dale Ford here. Dale won all 3 heats earlier on, looking for a perfect score. Bounce their way over the rough infield section. Rory Denning in second place. Had an A final win in round 4 at Pembrey. Round 3 in Wales was won by Dale Ford. It's been a mixed season this year. There's the battle further back between Charlie Maroney and James Orton. That's for 4th place. Harry Volkard in 3rd place with his Saxo. He won the first 2 rounds of the year at Lyndon and Blyton. He's raced everything from European touring cars to stocks carts over the years on the short ovals. He really has driven everything, Harry Volkard. There's the battle for 4th further back, the French hatchbacks of Maroney and Orton. Maroney in a Saxo, Orton in a Peugeot 106. Fighting it out with James Avison in the Ford Focus. Volkard a bit wide. The first 3 have pulled away around the first couple of laps. Dale Ford trying to hang on in the lead. This is a determined drive by Rory Denning. He wants to be production category champion this year, and Ford's gone wide there out of turn 2. They're side by side on the run up to the hairpin. Volkard could try and make it 3 wide here. This is the closest race we've had so far in our finals at Blyton, and Rory Denning slides into the side of Dale Ford, nearly pushes him into the straw bales. Goodness me, that could have ended in catastrophe. Get off, says Dale Ford. I'm trying to win this race. I don't think that was intentional by Rory Denning. He just locked up a bit and slid into the side of Dale Ford there, nearly pushed him round. So it's Dale Ford that leads, still ahead of Rory Denning. They've gone slightly clear of Harry Volkard now. It's the battle between Maroney and Orton next up, heading James Avison. Here they come. That's Maroney in the Saxo 4th, Orton in the 106 is 5th. There's the Focus of James Avison. Behind are the Civics of Wappert and Dresser. I just mentioned the winner of the C final as well, Ben Loads, earlier on in his Citroën C2, took the C final. As up the inside and being squeezed slightly there is Rory Denning. He had a look on the inside coming out of the paddock section on the tarmac. And Harry Volkard has a look as well. He's gone wide. Coming through turn 1. This is a frantic fight for the lead in this SG Haulage Limited Production A final. Ford leads it from Denning. Volkard in 3rd. We look down the inside at the hairpin. Here's Rory Denning. He does not want to make contact with Dale Ford. David Wappert in the Loughborough College car there. The black Honda Civic won the B final. He's leading veteran campaigner Mike Dresser. We've seen him in his Lotus Exige in previous seasons in the super modified category. In most recent times he's raced just about everything in Rallycross over the years. Towards the end of the 4th lap, and Rory Denning is on Dale Ford's tail again. Dale Ford, the reigning overall Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross champion. laps to go. Can he hold off Rory Denning? He moves across again on him on the straight, squeezes him towards the inside. He squeezes him still further. They're side by side on the run into turn one. This is going to be close. Somehow Ford stayed ahead. Denning has collected a cone there. There was contact. You can see the right-hand wing mirror on the 106 is hanging off. There's a cone dragging underneath it. And now here comes Harry Volkard as well. This is terrific. There's some needle creeping into this battle now. Rory Denning loses the road cone as he comes over the infield section there on the loose. Charlie Maroney has broken away from James Orton as well now. Well, it's the best race we've had so far today. Certainly saving the best till last here at Blyton Park. Over the top they come through the chicane. And Rory Denning is not finished yet. Up towards the left-hander. Coming through to start their final lap this time around, and Rory Denning is certainly looking determined here. He got squeezed on the last lap by Dale Ford. Is he going to try again here? He gets the better run usually through this paddock section on the tarmac. He's going to cut to the inside and go for it down the straight. He needs to get some straight line speed. Ford will squeeze him again. He's really squeezed him almost off the track there onto the grass down the straight, but Denning keeps his foot in. He's up the inside and he's got him this time. Excellent from Rory Denning. Was a little bit robust there by Dale Ford. That was a bit of a Michael Schumacher down the straight there, squeezing him almost towards the infield there. Rory Denning, and Ford tries again. He's back up the inside into the hairpin, tries to push his way down the inside. Denning bounces off, keeps his foot in again. Thought his door was coming open there, Rory Denning, where he'd been clipped by Dale Ford. Yeah, certainly some needle creeping into this battle now. Here's Rory Denning heading for what will be his second final win of the season, and the dropped scores are going to favour him as well. He's going to be ahead of Dale Ford, I think, going into Knockhill in the production points. Terrific stuff round the final couple of corners. Is Rory Denning going to hang on? It looks like he's going to win the production category. There's the checkered flag. He's done it, just ahead of Dale Ford and Harry Volkard. Terrific fight between those three. Fourth goes to Charlie Maroney, just ahead of James Orton. Then behind them, James Avison, Mike Dresser and David Wappert as quickly as that. What a terrific race that was. The win goes to Rory Denning by 3/4 of a second ahead of Dale Ford. Volkard third ahead of Maroney, Orton, Avison, then Dresser and Wappert. 9 seconds covers the entire field. Superb stuff from the SG Haulage production category.
Dale really made you fight for that, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Well, it was a close one the whole thing, and I was catching him the whole way on his bumper, but obviously Dale's no slouch, and Dale's not going to let me pass quite easily, so I had to push for it. And yeah, in the end we were side by side, and yeah, managed to get in front, and that was kind of it. It's one of them tracks where it's quite small, so when you're in front, it's difficult to pass.
Yeah, 100%. But you deserved it. You really fought well for that. Yeah. Like you say, Dale was not going to give up very easily. No. But you both put on a nice, clean fight, and that was really cleanish. But you know, it's all between friends. Yeah. And it's really good for a spectator point of view, because that was an exciting race. It was one of the best races we've seen all day, I think.
Well, thanks very much.
Yeah. You were also leading your category into this round.
I think I might be,
so yeah, so you've obviously upped that a little bit, got a bit of security there, so really it's all going to be to play for at Knockhill if you're going.
Yes, well we're still decided, but I think after this we've got to go, right?
Yeah, you have to defend that title, don't you, for the year, absolutely. And looking back, you didn't actually do the first Blyton round this year, so this is the first time you've driven the track as well.
Yeah, I've never been there obviously because we're from Devon, from North Devon, so for here it's about 6.5 hours, so it's a bit of a way to come, so we thought we'd drop the earlier Blyton. And then we had to come here, obviously, to do this one. So yeah, it's a bit of a trek, but it's worth it. I like this track. Yeah. People say it's quite slow, but I like the technical, slow stuff. So yeah, it's a bit of me, I think.
Yeah, I think it suits you. It suits the car as well, I think, doesn't it? This sort of tight and technical track. Yeah. But yeah, considering you've not driven it, well done. Excellent win, and brilliant to see some good racing out there between you all.
Thank you very much. Cheers. I've got to just say, I want to owe this race to Gordon Rogers, who passed away earlier this year. So he was a big inspiration to me as a kid, and yeah, he passed away earlier this year. So I just want to say thanks, Gordon, for everything you did to me, and yeah, rest in peace, Gordon Rogers.
Lovely dedication, Roy. Thank you.
Cheers. See you later.
Let's take a quick look at the overall point standings then. Going into the final round at Knockhill, Jason Bleasdale is on top, ahead of the likes of Owen Robbins, Rory Denning and Vince Bristow is certainly close in there. Dropped scores still to be applied, though. Still all to play for in the final round at Knock Hill coming up later in October. But that does bring to an end action from here at Blyton in round 5 of the BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship. Thanks very much indeed for watching, and goodbye.